And that's all I'm saying. Yes.
How long does it take you to write your first draft? It seems like you're really busy traveling and doing all sorts of other things. I've often wondered how you found time to write.
I better find time to write. God, there's no hard and fast answer to that question. This book, this book right here, the longest book I have ever written, took me 4 months. I mean, I just crashed through it. I paused for neither bite nor sup. It just had me by the scruff of the neck, and I just kept going. I even had visitors for like 3 weeks during this in my little 1-bedroom house in Homer, sleeping on my office floor because they were sleeping in my bed. And I wouldn't go play. I said, no, I'm sorry, I have to work today. And
so once you start, you finish,
I keep going.
travel.
It can take a lot longer than that, the whole process. I mean, it's taken me 9 months to write a book before, just because, it was a harder book to write. But this one, the muse doesn't always knock. When she does, you get up and answer the door, I think. You don't screw around. Yes, ma'am?
Do you see it when you write it? I mean, one of the things that I absolutely love about your books is the description I can see it when I read it, so you must be able to see it when you write it.
The question is, do I see what I'm writing as I'm writing it? Which is, I'm glad that you can see it. Thank you. That's a wonderful compliment. God, I don't even really know how to answer that. I guess I've always known that Alaska. I was born in the state. I've lived here all my life, and I've always known, that I lived in a beautiful place. I was never oblivious to that. My best friend Kathy and I talk about that. I mean, we always appreciated where we were raised. We were raised in a little town called Soldovia. Looks a lot like this on a smaller scale. Very narrow fjord, tall mountains on either side. And I mean, there just was never a day that I didn't go outside and be grateful that I was, that was where I was raised. So, I don't know. I just write what I know, I guess. As far as the Kate Shugak series are concerned, I'm glad you think I do it well. But it's not like I can give you a formula. I don't think I have.
And I'm not even looking for a formula, but I mean, what amazes me is the imagination, the people, how you develop them, just the whole story and how it comes out. Where does that come from?
Are you asking me where I get my ideas?
I guess.
Because you know what my standard answer to that question is? The idea fairy. That's as good as it gets. I'm sorry, I got nothing. Yes.
How did you meet Kate?
How did I meet Kate? Okay. Well, you're going to get the long answer to that question now. You have beyond your own head be it. I was writing science fiction at the time. And I was in between science fiction novels. I have no background in the hard sciences, so I'm just, if I'm writing science fiction, I'm researching, and that gets old really fast. So I just wanted a break between the second and the third science fiction novels. I was reading mysteries at the time, and I thought, well, I wonder if I can write a mystery. So I was tired of, had been working really hard, I thought, at the science fiction novel, and I wanted a break. So I thought, I had just been to the Wrangell St. Elias Park with my aunt, my Auntie Pat. She'd been working for a bush pilot up there named Joe King, and she quit, and she wanted to come home, so I went up there to help her pack and bring her back to Cordova. So the Wrangell St. Elias was very much in, it was the place that I had been to most recently. So, okay, we're going to set it in the Wrangell St. Elias Park. And as to who was going to be killed, that was easy, because Auntie Pat took me to meet all these old farts up around Long Lake and McCarthy and stuff. They all have homesteads that were grandfathered in as the park was created around them. They hate the Park Service with a purple passion. I can't even repeat some of the language that was used. So, it was pretty natural to pick a park ranger as a victim. Yeah, we'll just kill off one of those. Right. Kate is a woman because it's always easier to write in your own gender. She's a native because I was raised with Aleuts. God, her name is Ekaterina Ivana because she's named after my best friend, Catherine, and my mom, Joanne. And Ekaterina Ivana is Russian for Catherine Joanne. This was the lazy woman's way to write a book. And I'm not even kidding when I said that. And it took me about 5 months. And I thought, okay, this isn't bad. But I was, a science fiction writer at that time. And so I copied it off on a floppy. Remember the floppy? And I tossed it in a box in my father's garage over on East 15th. and it sat there until I sold my first science fiction novel, when at that time my editor asked me if I had anything else, any other books written. And you know, it's not very often that an editor asks you that question and you don't want to say nothing in answer to it. So I kind of remembered that mystery maybe that I'd written, and so I went back over to Dad's house and I got in the garage and got in my boxes, and I find this floppy, imaginatively titled Mystery. And by then I'd changed computers that didn't have a floppy disk drive. So I had to go down to my friends that owned a computer store to get them to transfer it in, God, who knows, maybe it was Perfect Writer at that time, and got it transferred into a language that my computer would read in a DOS that my computer would read, and got it back onto my computer and looked at it and thought, well, that's not too bad. And I tweaked it a little bit and I sent it off, and that's the first Kate Shugak novel. And that's the long answer to that question. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about Blindfold Game and how it was out on the boat?
Oh, well, yeah, that was fun. I've done 2 ride-alongs with the Coast Guard. That was serendipity. That was outstanding. My editor and my agent both said that they were kind of pushing me. They'd been pushing me for quite a while to write a thriller, and I was not allowing myself to be pushed because I didn't want to write a thriller until I had a good idea for one, or what I thought was a good idea for one, that, you know, wasn't like every other thriller out there. So I finally thought of an idea, and I finally told them, okay, I'm ready to do this now. And I wanted to write a coastie hero because, hey, it's Alaska. I was raised on the coast. The Coast Guard is a huge presence in everybody's lives in coastal Alaska. You know, what's the big, you know, ship down here today? So you know, I didn't know anything about the Coast Guard except that I was in love with all the coasties that came to Seldovia when I was a girl, teenage girl, as we all were. And